As a public speaker, I just went through the worst month of my entire career. I lost about 6 paid speaking engagements this month alone, as well as about a dozen other conferences that have been rescheduled for later on in 2020, meaning I have no work between now and the next 3 to 4 months, which is really scary. If you can relate to this, welcome to the business of public speaking. As a public speaker, our business, our livelihood, our income is dependent on being able to be physically present at an event. And look, I get it. A lot of conferences now, they're rescheduling, they're doing virtual events. You have this whole crop and this whole wave of virtual conferences just exploding. And it's going to continue to happen. But let's be honest, presenting virtually and presenting in person are a completely different delivery. I think on stage, I'm a really good presenter. I try to mix education with entertainment into all my talks. Virtual, the delivery isn't the same. Now, if you are like me and you've lost business as a public speaker, here are some things that you can do in order to stay afloat for however long this crisis takes. Hit up every single conference organizer under the sun that you can in order to get bookings 6 months from today. Whatever date today that you're watching this video is, conferences right now are thinking about their event that's going to happen 6 months from now. So you don't want to reach out to conferences happening next month or next week. You want to start working 6 months out. That means hit up every single conference organizer, ask them where they're at with their keynotes, where they're at with their MCs, ask them if they have budget. What I'm trying to say is you need to stay proactive. So whenever this whole crisis blows over, you have work that's ready to go. And if you're like me and you ask for a deposit up front for your time, you can actually flip the next 6 months into an opportunity where you're making guaranteed cash off of those 50% deposits. Update everything: social media profiles, website, and speaker reel. In fact, if you go to carlosgil.biz, which is my website, I'm in the process of updating a site that hasn't been updated since 2017. Why? Because as a speaker, you're always on the go. But in a chance like right now where you're going nowhere, you need to focus on the basics, and that's your branding. Your website is your storefront. Your YouTube channel is where people can go to see you speak. Your social media channels is where potential conference organizers or companies are thinking about booking you can go to see how you communicate and engage with others. Here's a tip for you. If you don't have a speaker reel, or if you need your speaker reel to be updated, or if you need your social media accounts to be updated, go over to Fiverr and find yourself a designer or a content creator or some sort of an expert that can create these resources for you. The same thing that makes you qualified to speak makes you qualified to teach virtually, which is why I'm a big fan of starting up mastermind groups, whether it's on Facebook, Slack, or Zoom, which is a video conferencing platform. If you can't generate your monthly earnings by going out on the road and speaking, why not do the same keynotes, one-on-one interaction, and Q&A remotely? And again, using any one of these 3 platforms I just mentioned, Facebook groups, Slack, and Zoom, or using them in combination where you have maybe like a free group on Facebook, you have a private community on Slack where people can message you one-on-one, and then you have like weekly or bi-weekly or monthly video chats on Zoom. Using these resources in parallel will help you do your keynotes as well as deliver all the information that you get paid to deliver in person, but you can get paid to deliver that information virtually. And keep in mind that the conferences that were normally charging $1,000, $1,500 for a ticket, that money now is freed up. And since those conferences aren't going to be happening in person, now that's an opportunity for you as a speaker to dip into those funds to teach online. Speaking of teaching online, think about creating a course. I recommend using Kajabi. I'm going to drop a link here in the description of this video so you can sign up for Kajabi and get a 30-day free trial. But by starting up your own course, you can now take your keynotes and you can break them down into mini modules to give more context, because let's face it, When you do a 35 to 60-minute keynote, you're really limited with what you can say in the time that you're on stage. Whereas with the course, you can go 3 or 4 hours and go much deeper into context. The point that I'm trying to make here is by creating your own membership site, by creating your own paywall, now you can have premium content that lives behind that paywall. You can even put previous keynotes of yours. And if you go back to the previous step, you can combine your membership site / course along with your mastermind group and your private Slack access and your private Zoom video conferencing to create the perfect storm and package for your community. Nobody likes to lose money. I know I sure don't. However, staying upbeat and positive is critical. And in these times of crisis where you know that conferences are being canceled, sporting events are being canceled, you have a conscious decision to make, which is you can either get discouraged and feel down and make no money, or you can take what you're already good at and just find ways to take that content and make a digital product and thrive. Good luck.